Now at 6, one person is dead after being hit by a car in Joplin earlier this morning. Plus, the Reddings Mill Fire Department prepares for brush fires during this drought. And the Baxter Springs Lion Club hosted its inaugural Fall Craft and Vendor Fair.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
We start with breaking news out of Carl Junction, Missouri. Around 4 p.m. today, reports of a fast-moving grass fire near CR 300 and Juniper Road north of Carl Junction. This is the second large fire for them of the day. About 1 p.m., Carl Junction battled an hours-long grass fire to the northeast Missouri 96 and Missouri 171. The Juniper Road fire was first reported as 50 acres of burning. We start with the pedestrian fatal in Joplin. Just before 3 a.m., first responders were alerted to a crash on North Main just south of the Zora overpass. On the scene, Corporal Sean Higgins of the Joplin Police Department tells us a northbound pickup struck a pedestrian in the roadway. No names are being released at this time. In Pineville today, the Big Sugar Gravel Race was held. Around 1,200 bikers took part in the event. Bikers with experience from pro to amateur participated.
You know, it puts a spotlight on Pineville. You know, we have international bikers here that come through our city, and we would never get that other than maybe this event. And so, you know, we're just hoping that Pineville is a little glimpse, you know, to the world as this happens.
The race was so large that it went through 3 different counties. Dangerous fire conditions continue across parts of Reddings Mill. Parts of the 4 states have been under burn bans for weeks, and the National Weather Service issued a red flag warning for the area. KOAM Shagun Bandali explains what that means.
A red flag warning means very low humidity and strong winds are expected to combine, creating a high risk of fire danger.
Weather conditions were really volatile and fire conditions were very extreme, and we had, in our fire district, we had 3 fires ongoing at the same time.
For a red flag condition, wind must be at least 10 miles per hour, humidity at 25% or lower, and dead fuels like dry grass holds less than 9% moisture.
Not a good idea to be burning with our low humidities that we're having, our high winds. We're in a drought period right now.
Haley says rain would help.
We need a significant amount of rain to overcome that drought, and you know, up to ½ inch of rain is very nice, but with our humidities and winds, those fuels dry out very quickly, and so we go right back into that same period.
He tells me how the fire department is preparing in case there is another fire.
We've just got our personnel, and we're ensuring that our trucks and apparatus are properly outfitted and good to go, and then if the conditions are determined and we need to bring in more personnel, we can do that.
Another chief says the community's help is needed to protect the community during conditions like this.
Most people have apps on their phones that will give them the weather conditions and it will tell them about it. And it's just basically raising the awareness, make sure the people know, make sure they don't go out and burn their leaves or try to get anything, you know, burning brush or anything like that.
In Reddings Mill, Shagun Bamdele, KOAM News.
The battalion chief urges people that at any sign of fire danger to please contact the fire department. And now we move on to Sam Lane, who has more information on how to stay safe in the weather in the area.
Yeah, Jalen, it's been, of course, dry for so long, and that's what's exacerbating the drought situation and also the fire danger. Right now, radar is all clear, but we were picking up smoke plumes earlier this afternoon on radar. We're still under a fire weather warning until tonight at 7 p.m. And if you think today was bad, tomorrow is going to be worse as far as the fire danger. So we expect the same kind of conditions tomorrow across our area. So please, please do not be doing any burning outside whatsoever. And of course, the drought has expanded eastward into parts of southwestern Missouri, southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma. It's still continuing. The winds today were a big factor in that. Look at these winds sailing up out of the south with generally around 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts. They're lessening up just a little bit right now. But as I mentioned, we're expecting the winds tomorrow to be even stronger We could see gusts close to 45 to 50 miles per hour in some locations, so please be aware of the fire danger tomorrow. Then by tomorrow afternoon, the winds will be slackening down to around 35 miles an hour, which is still very strong and certainly going to create some problems with fire, so please be aware of that. All right, we do have a look ahead, and there are some hopeful signs on the horizon. We have a stormy Monday in our forecast as well as some heavy rains, and I'll have all the details coming up in just a little bit.
The Baxter Springs Fall Crafts and Vendor Fair was held at the Lions Club. Vendors and craft makers from the area came out to put on display their crafts and items for purchase. This is an inaugural event.
Getting to see different people's products. I mean, not every people make, you've got home crafters here. There's several different ones, different items and we did not duplicate. If you are a direct sell vendor, there's only one direct sell vendor that is allowed to be here, and we tried to limit the number of like crafters so that you have a unique experience.
The event ended today around 3 p.m. Local churches community members held the annual Scam Fall Festival. The event included games, live music, food, and other family-friendly activities.
Usually any time that there's free food, people do come and they seem to enjoy that.
Well, I think just everybody getting together again and just having fun outside in the fall is a great thing. And then having just family-oriented type stuff where everybody can enjoy it together. And all the entertainment, plus the giveaways, that's a nice thing because there's some really nice giveaways out there.
To find more fall events before the season is over, you can find them on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Former President Trump has now been formally subpoenaed to testify before the January 6th committee. The request was delivered in writing yesterday, on the same day that Trump ally Steve Bannon was sentenced to prison for defying a subpoena from the same committee. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more.
The clerk will report the vote.
A week after they voted to subpoena a former president, the January 6th committee's request is now official. They say former President Trump must testify either in person or via video conference beginning in mid-November. And they're requesting documents from the man they argue played a central role in trying to subvert an election and triggering the assault on the Capitol. Committee member Pete Aguilar says the former president could testify in a live hearing.
We're going to be prepared if the former president decides to come, and if he puts restrictions on it for live testimony, we're going to be prepared for that eventuality.
The committee delivered the subpoena in writing, asking Trump for all his communications by phone, text, or messaging app Signal on January 6th, and any information referring to the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, or other militia groups. In a statement, Trump's attorneys accused the committee of flouting norms by publicly releasing a copy of its subpoena.
We're in uncharted waters. Not so much because he's an ex-president, I think, but because he is still such a politically significant figure.
The request came as Trump's longtime ally and advisor Steve Bannon faced punishment for defying his own subpoena from the committee. A judge sentenced him to 4 months in prison.
I've got a great legal team, and there'll be multiple areas of appeal.
The judge said Bannon can remain free while that appeals process moves forward. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Former and current presidents have been subpoenaed and testified before the Congress in the past. It's not clear what would happen if former President Trump defies his subpoena. He could fight it in court, ignore it, or simply try to delay it until the end of the year because the committee is only authorized through the current Congress, which ends in January. And we take time now to honor tonight's four-state hero. Joseph Williams, a Webb City, Missouri native, served in the Army from 1945 till 1947. He also served in the 1st Cavalry and in Japan. To Private First Class Joseph Williams, we thank you, our four-state hero. There's a new warning for parents about a dangerous respiratory virus in kids. That's next. There's a new warning for parents about a dangerous respiratory virus in kids. And Florida reports a surge in flesh-eating bacteria cases following Hurricane Ian. Bradley Blackburn has more on this week's top health stories.
Hospitals across the country are reporting a growing number of cases of respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. It sends nearly 60,000 kids to the hospital every year and can be fatal. The American Lung Association has launched a new awareness campaign to help parents watch for warning signs like cold symptoms, trouble breathing, or a wheezing cough. Floridians are still recovering from Hurricane Ian, and standing water from the storm may now be a breeding ground for a dangerous microbe called Vibrio vulnificus. It's often called flesh-eating bacteria, and the state health department says it's seen twice as many cases this year compared to 2021. Symptoms include fever and chills, a drop in blood pressure, and blisters on the skin. The CDC says 1 in 5 cases is fatal. And the CDC is urging people to get the new bivalent COVID booster shot after new data shows even 3 doses of the older vaccine can lose their effectiveness in preventing hospitalization. A new study found in late June 3 doses of the vaccine were only 31% effective, down from 69% last December. The bivalent booster can help protect against new strains of the virus. Those are the week's top health stories. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Later, why you should try and make your dog's day.
And we also have some rain on the forecast, and I'll tell you all about that, how much we're going to get, and as well as a look at the early part of the next week. So stay with us. Well, folks, earlier in the week we were setting record lows, and today we actually set a record high. Well, we kind of tied it. 85 degrees was our record this afternoon. Still pretty warm out there, including Seneca, Missouri with the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. You can also see some cumulus clouds starting to show up as well, and that's a harbinger of things to come. We're going to start to see an increase in clouds and also an increase of moisture, and that's good news because we are desperate need of rainfall. Highs this afternoon you can see generally in the mid-80s across our area with those strong southerly winds. A few places stayed in the 70s like Pineville with 77 and Bentonville and Gravette down in northwest Arkansas. They were also in the upper 70s. The 72 in Grove is in error. There's a problem with the sensor down there in Grove, and hopefully they'll get that fixed pretty soon. All right, let's take a look at the weather almanac. Here's the 85 degrees. Here's the record. Just 2 years ago, we were 85 as well. 27 back in 1982, 69, which is what our normal high is, was our low today. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how topsy-turvy today was. All right, let's look over the last several weeks. You can see that, again, earlier this week, we were setting record lows on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then today we tied that record of 85 degrees. We've had 15 days so far this month above normal on our high temperatures. Right now, temperatures are still in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Again, that erroneous report there in Grove of 68, that is incorrect. 80 in Carthage, 78 in Stockton right now, 82 over there in Chanute. The dew points are also increasing. You can see that they are now in the 50s. Again, this is wrong in Grove. We're seeing dew points in the 40s and 50s across our area, and that's going to help with those thunderstorms and showers in the forecast. Once they get started, they're going to need some moisture, and it looks like we have some available for that. Right now in Joplin, we're sitting at 80 degrees. Look at the south wind at 28 miles per hour, gusting higher, and it feels like 80. Dew point is 53. The humidity is still low at 39%. And look at the pressure. Down there at 29.59 and is still falling. There is a risk of severe weather with this storm system, but it looks like it's going to mainly be to the north and west, up in northeastern Kansas, up into Iowa. There is a marginal risk down into our area in Greenwood County and a little bit over to the north and east of there, but I think most of the threat is going to be up towards the north and west. And you can see on the risk, we're not really expecting a lot of tornado activity, large hail, wind, or heavy rain. The heavy rain, that would be very nice, and that will arrive as we're watching the storm system getting its act together out to the west. Notice as we go through time, it starts to kick out into the plains, and look at this strong winds aloft. They're going to be helping this storm system really dig in. If this was winter time, we'd be talking about a blizzard across our area or the potential of one. Fortunately, no blizzards in the forecast. Instead, we're going to be looking at some really decent rainfalls. All right, let's take a look at the forecast for tonight. You can see generally lows in the 60s again tonight with those howling south winds out of the south. And then tomorrow we're going to see mostly cloudy skies with highs in the low 80s, mid 80s out to the west. Again, winds are going to be sailing out of the south at around 40 miles per hour tomorrow. So please be aware of the fire danger. Don't be doing any outside burning. Then as we go into Monday, notice we start to see showers and storms by 7 a.m. in our area with the front up to the north and west starting to make its way towards us, and it will move through our area on the day on Monday, producing showers and thunderstorms across our area. And by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll have some pretty heavy storms in and around our area. Then the front comes sailing through. Our winds turn around to the north and west. We get a little bit of a break, but then as we move into Tuesday, It's going to be a chilly rain with northeasterly winds. And notice all the rain down in Oklahoma. That's going to advance to the north and east and spread across our area as well. Rainfall totals, I think you're going to like this map. Look at this. Some places could see 2 inches of rain by the time this is all said and done. So that would be very beneficial across our area and help put a dent in our drought situation. Over the next 7 days, here's your forecast. 82 tomorrow, which we're only 1 degree away from the record tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if we set a record tomorrow. Then 70 on Monday with those scattered showers and storms. That continues into Tuesday with a high of 60. Cooler next week with another round of rain possible on Friday. So Jalen, lots of activity over the next few days.
Yeah, just a whirlwind, no pun intended, of things going on in the 4 states. But everybody at home, please be safe with burning anything. Just avoid it at all, just to
absolutely.
be safe. All right, thank you, Sam. And coming up in sports, the Missouri Southern Lions hit the field at home against Emporia State. And the Pitt State Gorillas aim to stay undefeated on homecoming weekend against Missouri Western.
This week is homecoming week for the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. Pitt State welcomes in the Missouri Western Griffins this afternoon, aiming to stay undefeated this season. And the Gorillas are 7-0, enter the weekend ranked number 5 in the national rankings. The first Western possession going for it on 4th down, Alex Gaskill. Webb City kid flies in for the sack. This one scoreless after 1. Second quarter, Griffins threatening on 3rd and goal. Brandon Malikas flies in for the stop. Gorillas hold Western to just a field goal. Later in the second, Griffins punting. Jack Barkley gets a hand on it. Brandon Stegall jumps on it for PSU. They're set up in Western territory, and they would capitalize. Chad Dotson Jr. floats it to Kaiser Newell. He barrels in for the 8-yard touchdown. Pitt State takes their first lead, but it's Western leading 10-7 at half. Second half, Gorillas said thanks for coming. Second play of the third, Dotson finds Colby Katzis, and he's loose. Good luck. 67-yard touchdown for the redshirt freshman. Pitt State back in the lead. Then 4th and 2 for Pittsburgh State on the Western 21. They needed 2. Caleb Lewis got all 21. Touchdown Gorillas, they're now up 21-10. One more in the third, Dotson floats it to the end zone for Christian Carter. He hauls it in. 24-yard touchdown connection there. Pittsburgh State rallies by Western to remain undefeated 28-16. The Missouri Southern Lions are also at home this afternoon. The Lions hit the field against one of the best teams in the MIAA, hosting Emporia State. Now, the Hornets are 5-2, the number 1 offense in the MIAA so far. Southern 4-3 coming into this one. The Lions strike first drive. Dwayne Lawson punches it in from 1 yard out. Late in the second, 4th and 14. Luke Sampson looks for Ezekiel Lang, and check this out. He's in the end zone, makes a nice play on the ball. At the break, it's 14-10 Lions, then Hornets deep in Southern territory. Quarterback Braden Gleason connects with Jalen Varner on the far side. Emporia has its first lead of the game with that. Lions answer though. Nathan Glades fights his way in for 6. Southern back on top 21-17. In the fourth, Southern punts into the win and Emporia State takes over on the 14. Just a few plays later, Varner gets his second touchdown of the day. Southern comes up a little bit short against Emporia State, falling 24-21.
In the first half and a little bit in the second, we were able to get them to 2nd and long, which nobody wants to be in 2nd and long. You sure as heck don't want to be in 3rd and long. So we were able to kind of get them out of their tempo a little bit. And I'm proud of the way the guys fought. I mean, we went toe-to-toe with a very high-powered offense, probably one of the hottest teams in the league right now, them in Pittsburgh State. And so, proud of that.
At the junior college level, 10th-ranked Coffeyville trying for their 3rd straight win at home against Georgia Christian. And like the full screen here, Georgia Christian didn't show up. The Red Ravens win a shutout, 59-0. Coffeyville now 5-2 and will be on the road against Butler next weekend. After a 5-0 start to the season, the Kansas Jayhawks have dropped back-to-back games to TCU and Oklahoma. And the Jayhawks hit the road against Baylor today, looking to avoid a 3rd straight loss. Baylor 3-3 coming into this one. Kansas falls 35-23. Jayhawks were held to just 288 total yards. Another big one here in the Big 12, top 20 battle between Texas and Oklahoma State. That one actually still going. It's a pretty good one. Oklahoma State leads 41-34 with less than 2 minutes to go. So big win for Pittsburgh State. They rallied from a first half deficit. Tough one for Missouri Southern, man. I wanted that one for them.
Yeah,
Didn't finish.
Being an alum, definitely want to see them pull it off. One bright spot from the game that I take away is Ezekiel Lane continues to be a huge red zone target for Southern. I don't know what his eligibility is moving forward, but hopefully next year he'll be there.
He's good for them, and he's good for television.
Absolutely. All right, sounds good. Well, that's it for sports. We'll be back with more after the break. Today is National Make a Dog's Day, and this is one observance everyone should take part in. It's an invitation for dog lovers to go the extra mile for man's best friend by adopting a dog instead of buying one. Millions of shelters in the U.S. every year. A lot of them have been given up by their owners, and many are euthanized. National Make a Dog's Day encourages anyone who can go down to a local shelter and make a difference.
That's really great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sam, we got a lot on the...
Well, we're past the dog days of summer, that's for sure. Instead, we're starting to see showers and storms come back into our picture. Tomorrow is going to be extremely warm, but also extremely windy. So please, no outdoor fires tomorrow, if at all possible. We could set a record high tomorrow as well. I'm going with 82. The record is 83. Storms on Monday. Some of those could be strong, but the main benefit from the storms is going to be the heavy rainfall across our area. Some places could pick up a couple of inches, which will certainly help with the drought. That continues into Tuesday with a chilly rain on Tuesday. Then it finally dries out Wednesday and Thursday, but then more rain comes back in on Friday. And then next weekend, we start to see temperatures in the mid 60s. And then, of course, Halloween looks great with a temperature of around 70 degrees and mild conditions.
Yeah, hopefully we do get some of that rainfall just to help with the burn bans and the red flag warnings and things of that nature.
Yeah, we don't need any of that stuff.
I saw some rain on the radar next Friday. Hopefully you don't get stuck out there, but
We've gotten lucky so far. But Missouri Southern 4-4. They'll be on the road against Missouri Western next Saturday. Pittsburgh State 8-0. They got a big one against Central Oklahoma on the road as well next Saturday.
Chad Dotson Jr. seems like every week he may not throw for a bunch of yards, but he's always got 3 touchdowns in there some way, somehow.
Yeah, he's got some good weapons out there. Colby Katz is that redshirt freshman for Pittsburgh State. He can fly a little bit. He's going to be good in this league for a long time.
Yeah, he's got some wheels. And that's our time for now. We'll see you right back here at 10 o'clock. Thank you for making us part of your night.